In this video, you will see how you can create questions of the STAAR redesign types and then use Canva code to create those where they're interactive, like click and drags and multi-select, and then get those to your students in a super simple way. So I'm going to start by going to Magic School and signing in, click Enterprise, and I'm going to find the NISD STAAR Aligned Activity Builder. This is a custom tool. You'll click Create or Generate, and this is a custom tool that will create questions that are, again, with the STAAR redesign. So not just regular multiple choice, but like hotspot and short answer, like the short constructive responses. So then I'm going to fill this out with my subject area. You can choose a different subject area, so it's all different ones, grade level, and then you're going to actually insert the standard that you want to use. So I'm going to do RLA, 4th grade, and then here is the standard that my students are going to work on. Please include the full verbiage of this standard. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this, and then what Magic School is doing is in the background it has the STAAR release test, and so it's using those STAAR release tests to kind of figure out exactly the question types that STAAR actually asked, and then now what it's doing is creating questions again that are similar. So you'll see here the practice items include a multi-select question, a hot text question, a drag and drop question, an inline choice question, a short constructor response question, and that's it. So these, you can totally make them in CMS and Schoology, but it takes quite a bit of time to do that. And so another option would be to use Canva for this, and it makes it pretty too, which is really nice. So what I'm going to do is just grab this entire all of the practice items. I'm going to basically just copy all of them, and I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to do the strategy lesson. I'm going to do Control C for copy. Now what I'm going to do is jump on over to Canva, and you can click on that from your portal, and you're going to click on Canva AI. So typically you're here, you're going to click Canva AI, you're going to click Code. So I'm Canva AI Code, and then I'm going to say, can you create the following interactive activities? I'm going to just say, can you create the following interactive activities? And then I'm going to do Control V to paste that. And there's all of the items. Let me just make sure that I captured all of it. Yes, explain how Miguel's interactions with Rosa, and that's there. If your questions are like super long here, you might have to kind of add in the final question later. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click submit here. And so then what Canva Code does is it takes my plain language, and I have the questions here. It takes my plain language and puts it into code to create a game. And so I am going to go ahead, this part does take up to 3, maybe 4 minutes, especially because I have a lot of information here. So I am going to go ahead and pause the video while it codes all the lines for me, so you don't have to sit through that. Okay, so now the coding finished. It did take maybe like 2 or 3 minutes to do, so you do have to kind of just wait for that to happen, and then this is going to pop up. And so what you're going to see here is on the right hand side, you're going to see what the activity actually looks like, and on the left hand side is a chat where you can make any edits that you need to this. So when I ask for something here, it's going to change it over here. And so the first thing that I noticed that is that it's kind of plain looking. So I haven't even looked at the questions or anything, but I'm going to go ahead and here on the left, I'm going to say, can you make the theme more colorful and fun looking? And go ahead and launch that. And so every time I ask for something here and it makes edits, it's going to make a new version of this. And so you can see right here, this was version 1. And it's going to take a little bit of time. Again, every time I ask for something, it takes a little bit of time, but it's going to make adjustments here. So now, after it makes the adjustments, it's going to show version 2. I'm going to pause the video again while it's making those adjustments. All right, so now you can see it did make those adjustments to my activity. So you can make like visual adjustments, but you can also go and make adjustments to the questions. So biggest tip I can give you anytime you're using Canva code is to actually like complete the activity yourself, so you can feel what it feels like as a student to do this. And so I'm going to go ahead, and this is a multi-select, and it will tell me select all that apply. It even shows here so kids will know, hey, I'm practicing this question type. So I'm going to choose 2 different ones and click check answer. And so it's going to give me some feedback here. Now, I can see this, but it looks kind of dark. So notice that. So I'm going to say, for the first question, when I get it wrong, it's hard to read the feedback. So again, I'm still making kind of design edits here. This is why it's important for you to actually do the activity so that you can know like that it's working properly. I'm also going to say, can you fix this? Also, let me see. Can you provide feedback without giving the answer? Because it actually gave me the answer here. And I don't really want it to give the student the answer. I just want it to give it a little bit of feedback. So it's saying, okay, I'll fix that readability and make it more helpful without spoiling the answer. And so it's going to do those edits. I'm going to pause the video again. Okay, that one was super quick. Now I'm going to try to do 2. Check. So I'm just asking for little things along the way. Okay, so now I've made some additional adjustments. Here is a hot text item. So I'm going to click on 2 different sentences here, and let's say here. I just want to make sure that this is providing that feedback where I can actually read it, because remember the background was kind of white in the last one. Okay, so here it has the 2 students. This is a drag and drop type question, and here is the inline choice where they're having to choose here, and then here is the short constructed response. Again, I highly recommend you complete all of the activities or all of the questions, and so you can feel what the students feel, and if you need to make adjustments, you make it here. Now, the final thing that you need to do is add some tracking to this, so that kind of like when a student would fill out a Google form, you would be able to attach a Google Sheet to that and open the Google Sheet and see all of the students' responses. So what I'm going to do is get a Canva sheet to attach to this so I can gather data on how the students did. And so here where it says ask me anything, I'm going to say, can you add student data tracking to this activity? And launch that. And so it says, I'll add student data tracking, so responses are saved to a Canvas sheet, and you can monitor student progress. So let me pause so it does while it's doing that. All right, so now you can see that it added some pieces. You can see it automatically added where the students have to enter their name, and that's what I'm going to use, or that's what's going to be entered in the data sheet, which also was added here. And so now after I publish this and get the link and give it to kids. Now, as they finish them, the data is going to pop up in this sheet. So let me open that just to show you what it looks like. So it's going to have the student name, question 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So again, just like a Google form and how it connects to a Google Sheet, this is going to connect to a Canvas sheet. Final step to get this in front of my kids, after I've tried it out and really like it, I'm going to click the Publish button, and you can change this tail end of the link if you want to. Like, you can delete all those characters and you can say character interactions, or you can name it whatever you want, and then click Publish. And then what it does is it puts my activity into a website, a Canva website that's really easy to navigate, and is basically just ready to go once I click that Publish button. And so it's going to do that, and then it's going to again provide me a link for this website. All right, so you can see here my website is now live. And so as a teacher, what I would do is click copy here and then paste that link into Schoology or Seesaw, or however you get links to your students. Just to show you here, this is what my activity is going to look like as a student. Looks really nice and clean. I'm going to put my name in here, and then I'm going to start the activity. And then I'm going to click through and submit. And as I do that, then the data is going to show up here on the Canvas sheet after I submit. All right, finally, I want to show you how you can find your activity if you need to find it later. So let's say you didn't get to the point of publishing and you're still working on making edits to your activity. I'm going to show you exactly where to find it because it can be kind of tricky. So I'm going to get out of here. And again, when you first sign in, you're typically here in your designs. To get back to this, you're going to click Canva AI, code, and then it's going to be by recent chats. You can also find it, if you click this button, you can also find it here. But you have to click Canva AI and code, and then all of your Canva code items will be here. And then you can get back into it, and then you click on the last version, and again, you can continue making edits and publish. In order to find your data sheet, you can always come back to the activity in this way and click data, or you will actually find it in your designs, because now this Canva code is a new Canva sheet within your regular Canva account. And so if you want to, you can change this to be the name of the activity if that helps you with your organization. So here's where all the student information will be. So I hope this video is helpful in showing you how you can take the Magic School STAAR Aligned Activity Builder questions and pop them into Canva code to create those activities that are interactive, just like they would be on STAAR, but with a little flair that Canva provides with its design qualities.